Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Okay, welcome to our final chapter. All right, this is the final chapter of our syllabus. All right, yesterday we have discussed on the third. We were on the third stage on strategic management process, which is the strategy implementation. Okay, now today we are on the last stage, which is the fourth stage in the strategic management model, which is the evaluation and control. Okay, so far we have covered three stages of strategic management model, namely the environmental analysis, and then we have covered strategy formulation, and then we have covered strategy implementation, and today we are on the last stage or on the final stage of strategic management model, which is the evaluation and control. Okay, so without further ado, all right, let us take a look at our course outcome or learning objective, if you like. All right, okay, number one, we are going to see various types of measures and controls that are utilized to properly assess the performance. All right, you remember, please bear in your mind that in this chapter, when we talk about evaluation and control, so our main concern in this topic is we want to measure performance actually. Yeah, we want to measure performance. All right. If you look back at the strategic management model, all right, how do we start? We start by assessing the environmental analysis, right? What we want to identify from the environment. We want to identify the strategic factors, yeah, the S, W, and then O and T, right? So with these S, W, O, and T, what we do with them? We formulate strategy. Yeah, we formulate strategies. All right. And then after we formulate the strategies, and then we move on to the third stage, which is we implement those strategies. And after we implement that strategy, now we are on the last stage. On the last stage is we want to see whether the strategies that we have implemented, whether it is working or not, whether it is achieving the intended targets or not. That is what we want to do. Yeah, that is the interest. That is our interest in this topic. We want to see whether the strategy that we have implemented is working. So if it is working well, then it is okay. That is very good. But if it is not okay, then what we should do? That is the discussion in this topic. So that's why to start off the discussion, the learning objective 12.1, okay, we want to see several types of measures that are available. Yeah, several types of measures that managers can use in order to measure the performance, to measure their performance, how well they are doing. All right, and then okay, we will see several types of measures, and then we will look at 12.2, a balance scorecard. A balance scorecard. This is another tool that manager can use in order to measure their performance. And then another tools to measure performance that we will discuss is benchmarking. Yeah, benchmarking. These two are very important. All right, these two are very famous tool. Yeah, that can be used by managers in order to measure their overall performance of their organization. Okay, so 12.2 on balance scorecard, 12.3 on benchmarking. And then also we will see how strategic information system, this is on IT, how strategic information system are being utilized to support specific strategy, yeah, to support specific strategy implementation or strategy evaluation. Yeah, okay, strategic information system. And last but not least, we will wrap up the chapter by looking at some issues, yeah, some issues regarding performance measurement. Yeah, what are the issues? And we also will see some guidelines, yeah, some guidelines or some recommendations on better way to do strategy evaluation, yeah, or control. All right. Okay, let us start. Okay, class. This is a very, very important model that I want you to remember, because this model or this process, yeah, this model summarize everything. Yeah, the whole chapter is being summarized in this model. So I want you to remember, I want you to digest this model very, very well. Because why? What we are going to learn in this chapter is basically is being summarized here. So this is the overall control process. Yeah, this is the overall evaluation and control process. This diagram digests every single step that managers has to do, yeah, in order to assess the performance of their organization. Okay, let us take a look at this model. How does it work? All right. So there are five stages. There are five steps. There are 4 or 5 steps in this control process. Yeah, this is what we call a control process model. Yeah, a control process model. Okay, so to do performance evaluation, yeah, class. All right. When I said evaluation, when I said performance measurement, when I said control, is all mean the same thing. Yeah. When I said evaluation, when I said control, when I said performance measurement, it means the same thing. Yeah, it means the same thing, because our main interest in this topic is we want to measure the final outcome of our strategy implementation. Yeah, we want to measure the final outcome of our planning. Yeah, whether it has bear fruit or not. So that is our main concern. That's why this topic, sometimes we call it performance measurement, sometimes we call it evaluation and control. Yeah, it's all the same thing. At the end of the day, what do we want to measure? We want to measure whether we have achieved our objective or not. That is our concern, and whether we have achieved our objective or not. So how to know whether we have achieved our objective or not? By looking at our performance. So performance is the end result that we want to assess. Remember that, yeah? Performance is the end results that we want to assess. So by giving a good performance, yeah, our organization can stand a chance to fulfill our objective. What is our objective? Our objective is our mission and our vision. That is our objective. Yeah, simply put, that for any organization in this world, yeah, the reason for their existence is to fulfill their mission and their mission. Yeah, to fulfill their vision and to fulfill their mission. So how are you going to know whether you have fulfilled those mission and vision? By looking at your performance, how well you are doing. Yeah, how well you are doing. So this chapter is specifically is going to discuss about that. Yeah. All right. So let us take a look at this model or this process. Sometimes I call model, sometimes I call process. Is the same thing. Yeah. Okay. So the evaluation and control process is begin with what? Number one, we have to determine what we want to measure. That is number one. Yeah, it means that we have to establish the objective, yeah, of performance evaluation. All right, we have to identify what are the things that we want to measure. That is number one. Yeah, determine what are the things to measure. That is number one. All right, number two, we establish the predetermined standard. Yeah, we establish the predetermined standard. All right, what is a predetermined standard? Normally, predetermined standard is our objective, actually. Yeah, our mission, our target. Yeah, the target that we already set forth. Yeah, the target that we already predetermined earlier. Yeah, the target that we already set. All right, because performance evaluation take place at the end of the process. Predetermined standard take place at the beginning of the process. Yeah, it means that when we want to embark on our strategic implementation, of course we have already identified some objective or some target or some mission that we want to achieve. All right. So these are before we implement any strategies or any missions. All right, of course we already have a clear picture in our mind what we want to achieve. All right. So after we implement it, all right, now we want to see whether uh, we have achieved what we wanted or not. All right. So this is what we call we need to establish the predetermined standard. Normally, the predetermined standard is our objective, yeah, our objective, our organizational objective. When we first formulate strategy, of course, we have some objective that we want to achieve, right? So meaning to say, when we move on to the third stage here in this model, which is measuring performance. All right, how to measure performance? All right, to measure performance, yeah, to measure performance is what we do is we compare our current performance with the established predetermined standard that we have set before. Okay, I'll give you some simple example. Simple example is like this. Let's say in your case, for example, yeah, let's say beginning of the semester, all right, when let's say semester begin. Of course, I believe every one of you have your own target of CGPA, what you want to achieve at the end of the semester. So you set your objective at the beginning of the semesters, right? When semester begin, okay, you say that I want to get 3.75 and above, for example. Yeah, you want to get 3.75 and above because you want to get a dean's list, for example. Right? Okay, that is your objective at the beginning of the semester. All right, now after you have sit for the final exam and at the end of the semester, the result come out. Yeah, when the result come out, all right, you compare your actual result with your desired result. Your desired result is 3.75. Now you compare what is your actual result that you are getting at the end of the semester. So let's say the result come out, okay, your result is 3.70, for example. You are 0.05 short in fulfilling your desired target. So how can you conclude? Oh, it means that you are nearly miss your desired target. That's how people do. That's how organization or managers do performance evaluation. First, they determine what to measure or what they want to target. So, and then they establish the predetermined standard. Yeah, and then they measure the performance. So measuring performance is by simply comparing the current result, the actual result that you have in your hand right now with the target that you set earlier. So do you see whether it is matched or it is overachieved or is underachieved? Yeah, that is the thing. That is how do we measure performance. All right, so we move on to the fourth stage. Does performance match standards or not? So after you compare, yeah, after you compare. So in your CGPA case just now, in the case of your CGPA just now, all right, your target is 3.75, for example. Now, what you are getting? You are getting 3.70. So you compare. Does performance match standards or not? Your actual performance is 3.70. Your target is 3.75. So does it match your standard or not? So it does not match your standard. So when it does not match your standard, you go to the step number 5, you take corrective action. It means what? You need to do post-mortem. What went wrong in this semester? What went wrong in this semester? You need to identify them. You need to overcome them. Yeah, you need to overcome them. Yeah, overcome them in such a way that you are better prepared for the next semester. Of course, you cannot undo the current semester already because it's already done. Yeah, of course, you cannot roll back the time, cannot. So what can you do is you need to be prepared better for the future. Yeah, for the next semester, for example. So you take corrective action, and then the step repeats again, and then you repeat the process again to step 3. You measure the performance again next semester. Yeah, you measure your performance again next semester. And let's say you compare again. Yeah, you repeat the same process. You repeat step number 4. Yeah, you compare your desired outcome with your actual result. For example, let's say for the next semester, your target doesn't change. Your target still 3.75 because you want to get the dean's list, for example. Now this time you get 3.80. Yeah. Let's say now this time you get 3.80. Does performance match standard? Yes. If yes, then the process stop here. It means that you are on the right track. You are working very, very well. You see or not? So this is what we call the whole process, yeah, of evaluation and control. Yeah, this is the whole process that summarize evaluation and control. It all begins with we need to determine what we want to measure first, and then we need to establish the predetermined standard. Predetermined standard normally the target, yeah, that we set earlier, yeah, earlier in the year, or we target earlier in the semester, for example. Okay, and then at the end of the year, we measure our performance, whether we have achieved our intended target or not. So let's say if our performance match our target, then the process stop here. It means that we are on the right track. It means that all the strategies that we have implemented working very well for us. So what should we do? We should continue with that policy. We should continue with that strategy. But if performance does not match the standard, then it means that we have to take corrective action. Yeah, we have to take corrective action. So that when we take corrective action, we need to identify what went wrong. We need to do post-mortem, and we need to do post-mortem, and we need to identify our weaknesses. Yeah, we need to try to work out on our weaknesses so that we can improve them, so that we can repeat the process all over again. Let's see whether our our corrective action is working or not. If it is not working, then you have to repeat the whole process again. Yeah, you have to loop the whole process again. All right. So this is what organization do. Yeah. Mungkin you ask me, sir, until when? Until when? Yeah, sampai bila-bila macam ni. Yeah, because why? Because because uh, business organization, business is like war. Business is like a war. Because why? In the marketplace, it's just not ourselves. Yeah, we are competing. Yeah, we are surviving day on daily basis, actually. Yeah, because why? Our survival in the marketplace is depends on how well we are delivering to our consumer. Yeah, how well we serve our customer. So in delivering our customer, of course, is being reflected in the mission to serve our customer better, the mission to be on top of the market. Yeah, of course, it's all being embedded in our mission and vision statement. Of course, we need to fulfill them. So when we fulfill our mission and vision, of course, all right, automatically we are serving our customer better. We are doing well in the marketplace. That's why we have to keep on improving ourselves. We cannot rest on our laurels. We cannot celebrate success too long. Yeah. All right. So I hope you are clear about this model, about this evaluation and control process. Yeah, it has 4 or 5 stages. Yeah, it has 4 or 5 stages. All right. Number one, determine the what we want to measure. Number two, we establish the predetermined standard. Number three, we measure the actual performance. And number four, we do the real checking whether our performance match or not. If we overachieve, that is very good. Yeah, that is very good. Overachieving is very good. Yeah, it means that, let's say you target 3.75, something, when the result come, you get 3.9. Oh, that is very, very, very good. So you just keep on repeating the things that you just repeat the good things that you have been doing. All right, just repeat it. Yeah, with more intensity. Yeah, so that the formula is working well for you. Yeah, the strategy is working well for you. Just continue with that. But if something is wrong, your result falls short of your target, then you have to take corrective action. So when you take corrective action, you need to identify your weaknesses and you work on improving your weaknesses, and then you repeat the process all together again to see whether your corrective action is working or not. If it's not working, then you have to keep on improving again. Okay, all right. Is everyone clear? I hope everyone is clear, yeah? Okay. So measuring performance, yeah, measuring performance. So what is performance, class? What is performance? Performance simply say the end result, the desired end result of an activity. Yeah, the desired end result of an activity that we wish that we could get. And that is what we call performance. Yeah, that is what we call performance. The end result or the actual result. Whether you are perform or you are not perform, that is performance. So performance means the end result of your activity, the end result of your operations. That is what we call performance. So we want to see how good is our performance. Yeah. So when we do evaluation and control, we are trying to see how good is our performance, because we want to see whether we have achieved our objective or not, whether our performance whether our performance is enough or not to meet our requirement, to meet our objective or to meet our target. All right. So one of the obstacle, to effective control is the difficulty in developing appropriate measure of important activities and output. Yeah. Performance measurement, even though it sounds simple, it sounds easy, but actually it's not easy. It's not easy to really measure what matters. One of the obstacles to effective control is the difficulty in developing appropriate measurement. The difficulty in developing appropriate measurement, because we want to know how because we need to really know whether the standard or the performance that we achieve, how are we going to know whether it is good or not? Who can validate that? Of course ourselves. Of course we are the one who are going to validate whether our performance is good or not. But in interpreting whether the result can be categorized as good or not, we need a good measurement. Now, to develop a good measurement is not easy. To develop a good measurement is not easy, because why? We have an inclination to consider in our measurement that we develop factors that are not important. For example, how do I give you how do I give an example? For example, let's say let's say you are cooking a meal, for example. You are cooking a meal. What is your objective? Your objective is that you want to develop develop, you want to cook a very delicious food. For example, you want to cook a delicious meal, for example. All right, now you have cooked your meal. Okay, now after you're finished cooking, now how are you going to validate whether whether the dishes that you cook is delicious or not? How to determine? What measurement that you want to use? Okay, let's say you ask let's say 5 people to taste your food. So person number 1, person number 2, person number 3 says your food is delicious. Person number 3 and person number 4, they don't like your cooking, for example. All right. Okay, now how are you going to know? Whether whether your cooking is really good or not? Or maybe you can say, oh sir, simple, just see what the majority says. And in this case, easy lah, because I give you odd numbers, 5. Let's say now, let's say 10. 5 people like your cooking, 5 people doesn't like your cooking. So how are you going to decide whether you have cooked a good meal or not? See, to develop an appropriate measure is difficult. Because why? Sometimes we might leave out the important activities. Yeah, we might we might left out important criteria in assessing that measurement. Of course, the example that I give you is a very loose example, because why? It's purely on taste. It's purely on what we call subjective measurement. It's based on feeling. Yeah, that's why it is not a valid one. So how to develop a valid measurement? That is the issue. That is the issue. All right, because why? To managers, they want to get the they want to get the exact result. You know, whether clear cut, whether this is good or not good, good or not good. They do not want to get something in the middle, right? If it is good, then it is good. All right. So the issue here, yeah, if I want to bring your attention, is it's not easy to create a measurement to verify whether the performance can be categorized as good or the performance can be categorized as bad. Yeah, for example in my line of work, for example, as a lecturer, for example, at the end of the year we are having performance evaluation. Yeah, performance evaluation. So our employer, yeah, of course the university, they want to see whether each and every staff is performing good. Yeah, they want to see where they want to investigate, they want to verify, yeah, how well each and every workers are doing, for example. So they have developed a set of tools to measure our performance. For me as a lecturer, there are several criteria that we have to fulfill. Yeah, there are several criteria that we have to fulfill. Yeah. So when we fulfill, when every criteria have its own score, for example. Yeah. Every criteria have its own score, maybe from 1 to 10. Yeah, from 1 to 10. So let's say we have 5 criteria. So every criteria have a scale from 1 to 10. So let's see, from my case, let's see, my superior, yeah, will assess me. Criteria number 1, okay, what do I score? Yeah, out of 10, what do I score? Criteria number 2, out of 10, what do I score? So on and so forth. So at the end of the day, they will calculate what is my total score, for example, in percentage. So if the performance is above 80%, uh, then it means that uh, that staff or myself is doing good, for example. Only after, if I reach 80% and above, only next year I have increment in my salary. That is performance measurement. Yeah, that is for every single individual. Yeah, that is workers punya assessment, or workers punya performance measurement. Now we are talking about organization. Yeah, now we are talking about organization. Maybe you can say, sir, just look at the sale. Yeah, if the sale increase, then we are performing very good. Not so fast. Why? Sometimes if you consider sales alone without considering cost, yeah, you might be misguided. Yeah, if let's say your cost increase, let's say your sales increase, your cost also increase, then at the end of the day, yeah, you are still you are still not moving anywhere, for example. Okay, so that's why I said this is one of the issue. What is the issue in performance measurement? To develop a valid measurement. Yeah, to develop a valid measurement. All right, let's continue. Okay, now we want to see there are several types of control that available that manager can use. Yeah, there are several types of control. Number one, we have output controls. Output control. What is an output control? Output control, we specify what is to be accomplished by focusing on the end result through the use of objective. Yeah, output control. It means that we are looking at the outputs. Yeah, we are looking at the productivity. All right. So this is one type of control. Yeah, this is one type of control. That's why we call it output control. All right. We are looking at the end result of, we are looking at the productivity. Yeah, that is one type of control. Number two, we have behavior control. Behavior control. We specify how something is done through policies, rules, standard operating procedure, and order from supervisor. Behavior control, it means that it is not a financial control. It is not about, it is not on productivity, but we want to see whether the behavior of our employee, for example, are they inclined towards the policy that we implemented or not? Through, are they following the SOP that we have set for them to follow or not? So are they listening to their are they listening to the orders from their supervisors or not? So this is what we call behavior control. Yeah, behavior control. Okay, so class, I would like to bring the example of our PKP right now. Yeah, our PKP right now. When PKP is first implemented, yeah, the compliance behavior, yeah, the compliance behavior was quite low at that moment, because why? It is still new to us. Now, after the fourth stage, after the fourth cycle of PKP, we start to see results. Yeah, we start to see results when the number of new cases start to decrease. So the decrease of the new cases can be attributed to our social distancing behavior, that you know, when people start to understand the social distancing, the importance of social distancing, people start to obey to social distancing, only then we start to see results. So this is what we call behavior control. Yeah, behavior control. The government introduced PKP. The government introduced social distancing policy. Why? Because they want to govern our behavior. They want to see result, because the objective is we want to reduce the number of new cases. Yeah, the number of new cases of COVID-19. So the strategy that we have that the government have implemented is PKP, the restricted movement order, and the social distancing. So when the society obey, yeah, those rules, we start to see our behavior change. Yeah, we start to see behavioral change, and behavioral change will bear results. So this is what we call behavior control. Okay, and then we have input control. Yeah, what is input control, class? Input control is emphasized on resources. How productive are we in using our resources? Because resources are scarce. Resources are limited. Resources are expensive. So we should use them without waste. We should use them in the best possible way that could optimize our production. So input control. Input control, normally we are looking in terms of how well we optimize our input. What is the percentage of our waste? We should be reducing our waste, because waste is when you waste your resources in terms of, let's say, maybe a default products, for example, a faulty products, for example. So it means that you have wasted your resources. So you have to make sure that you can reduce mistakes, you can reduce faulty products. When you reduce mistakes and faulty products by training, by you know, by giving more advanced training to your employees, you know, to equip them with the proper tools to work better, so you can reduce the waste of your resources. So when you can reduce your waste of your resources, then it means that you are managed to do input control. Okay. And then we also have ISO 9000, ISO 9000 series of quality standard. This is a very famous, a way of objectively documenting a company's high level of quality operation. It is more on our documentation of our SOP. So it means that any organization, when they have the ISO 9000 certification, it means that they have a very good what we call SOP, or the quality operation, in terms of their company's according to the conduct of the company. The way the company are doing their operation is by fulfilling their SOP. So it means that the company has a very good working procedure. So this is what ISO 9000 is all about. And also we have the ISO 14000, a series of quality standard. Is the ISO 14000 establish how to document the company's impact on the environment. All right. So ISO 14000 is more on you know, companies' contributions toward environment. All right, how well the companies can you know, can how do I say, uh, establish how to document the company's impact on the environment. It means that the way we operate, we do not pollute our environment. We are committed towards preserving the environment. So this is the standard for ISO 14000. So if any company have ISO 14000, we know that this is the environmental friendly punya company. So these are the responsible company which has the what we call social responsibility. All right. So this is the ISO 9000 and ISO 14000. So these are some of the control that available out there: output control, behavior control, input control. These are the categories, yeah: output, behavior, input, and then ISO 9000 and ISO 14000. All right. And then, all right. Also, class, when we talk about measurement, yeah, when we talk about measurement, yeah, whether to how are we going to know whether our organization is doing well or not? Just now, I made an example. Just look at the sales. So if you are thinking along that line, it means that you are looking from a financial measurement. Yeah, you are looking from financial measurement. Okay, if you're thinking that way, meaning that you are using this method, traditional financial measures. Because to some people, to some people, their argument is simple: what is the purpose of business? The purpose of business is to make money, right? Yes, of course, that's right. The purpose of business is to make money. So for these people, they say that then we just use financial measure, because that's all what matters. That's all that matters to us, because as long as we can make money, then we are good. So why not we just use the financial measures? So that argument is partly true. Yeah, that argument is true also, because why? Of course, the purpose of doing business is, of course, we want to generate wealth. Yeah, we want to generate profit. So there is none other measure to generate profit than the traditional financial measures. We are looking at our ROI, for example. What is ROI? Return on investment. Return on investment basically, basically looking at how much you invested and how much you get. Yeah, how much you invested, yeah, in relation to the profit that you get. So if, let's say, you invested some amount of money and you get double of your investment, then that is very good, for example. But if you invested some amount of money, but you getting less than what you have invested, that is not good. Yeah, and this is the concept of ROI. Yeah, that is the concept of ROI. For example, let's say if you invested 1 ringgit, for example, and you make profit of 50 cents, for example. Now we can say that you can earn 50% from your investment. You can get 50% of your investment. 50% from your investment is good or not? It's okay lah. It's just in the middle. If you can get higher than 50%, that is very good. Okay. Or if you can get more than what you invested, that is very, very good. Okay, so return on investment is a result of dividing net income before taxes by the total amount invested in the company. So you look at your income in relation with the amount that you invested. How much you get, yeah, by comparing with how much you invested. Okay, if you invest 1 ringgit and you get 1 ringgit back, it means that you get 100% ROI. That is very, very good. Okay, so that is one concept, ROI. And then we have earning per share. Yeah, dividing net earnings by the amount of common stock. This is earning per share. This is another financial measure. Yeah, if the company have a issue stock, so they are looking at the earnings, yeah, by the amount of common stock that they issue. Yeah, this is earning per share. And then we are not going to go in deep on this, yeah, because this is just a glancing through. Okay, yeah, I believe you have learned details in financial management, right? Okay, and then we have the return on equity, or the ROE. This is quite a famous indicator, yeah, ROI, ROE, involve dividing net income by total equity assets. Yeah, you are looking at your income in relation with the assets that you have accumulated. All right, And then we can look at in terms of operating cash flow. Yeah, operating cash flow, the amount of money generated by a company before the cost of financing and taxes. Yeah, the amount of money generated by a company before the cost of financing. What is cost of financing? Cost of financing maybe you make loan, you pay loan, and so on, and also taxes. Taxes is cukai, tax. Yeah, your obligation. So operating cash flow. So you want to see whether you are generating enough cash flow or not. So that is another indicator to look at your financial fitness. And then we have a free cash flow. What's a free cash flow? The amount of money a new owner can take out of the firm without harming the business. Free cash flow. All right, class. This concept, free cash flow, even though yes, sometimes we are the owner, we are the founder. Okay, we feel that the our business money is our money. Yes, of course. But if we simply do that, it might harm your business. Uh, so there must be some control into it, because why? If we practice this free cash flow too much, it might hurt your business in the long run. But again, when we talk about the concept of free cash flow, we are talking about the amount of money a new owner can take out of the firm without harming the business. Okay, class. So all these concepts, ROI, the EPS, the ROE, the operating cash flow, the free cash flow, all these indicator, yeah, the more the better. The more the better. The higher the better. The higher the better. For example, yeah, if your ROI, ROI from 50% increase to 90%, it's good. Yeah, earning per share, let's say from 50% increase to 90%, it is good. Yeah, ROE also, yeah, the higher the better. Operating cash flow also, the higher the better. And free cash flow also, the higher the better. Amount of money, remember, amount of money a new owner can take without harming the business. For example, let's say last time, if you take 100 already can harm your business, but now you can take 500 still doesn't harm your business now. So that means that your company is getting stronger. Last time 100 already hurt the company if you take out the money, but now you take out 500, it doesn't do any bad thing to your business. So it means that you are getting stronger. So the higher the better. Yeah, all these financial ratios. Okay. And then we also have the non-financial performance. So this is the financial performance. This is the financial measures. One thing. Now we also have the non-financial measures. Yeah, the non-financial measures or non-financial performance. All right, non-financial, it doesn't involve any money. Yeah, performance that are not based on any ringgit and cents. The performance measurement that is not based on finance. So we based on other factors. Yeah, factors other than finance. Example class, this is the performance measurement of non-financial performance of internet business venture. Measures used by internet business ventures. Internet business venture, it means that maybe usahawan internet lah kot, online business, or online business. So online business, all right, if you do your business online, where is your shop? Your shop is your website. Yeah, your shop is your website, your blog page. Yeah, now people use what? People use Facebook, for example, to do marketing, to do businesses. Now business can be run, through Facebook. All right, your Facebook page is your shop actually. All right, Facebook profile is one thing that is for your personal life, but Facebook, they create another features, they call it a Facebook page, just for you to do business, purposely to do business. So if you want to do business, do on Facebook page that is specifically for business. All right, so your Facebook page is your shop actually, or your website is your shop actually. So if you are doing on internet business, so there are some non-financial performance that can give a hint that you are doing well. Example, the first measurement is stickiness. What is stickiness? Sticky, sticky, melekat. Sticky. What does it mean? it means that the length of website visit, the length of website visit, it means that the longer each customer serve or stay at your website or your page, FB page or whatever outlet that you have, is better for you. It means that the longer time they spend on your page, yeah, is better for you. It means that your web or your page is attractive to them. It means that the longer they spend time at your page or at your online shop, the longer, the better the chances that they might get into your trap. What is your trap? Of course, they might end up buying something. And that is what we call the concept of stickiness. Yeah, stickiness. You know what? There is one survey, one interesting survey on the behavior of internet users in Malaysia. All right, most of the internet users in Malaysia, you know, they are when I'm talking about internet, I'm talking about social media. Yeah, the most famous social media in Malaysia today, according to statistics, is of course Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. You know, we have 24 million users of Facebook in Malaysia, and each one of them, these 28 million people, yeah, the average numbers, yeah, the average hours spent on internet, on social media, you know what? How long? 8 hours per day. 8 hours per day. You mungkin tak sedar kan? Mungkin kejap-kejap pegang phone, kejap-kejap pegang phone, kejap-kejap pegang phone tengok. So apa yang you buka? One of them is Facebook. How long you spend? If we calculate average per day, 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours. Now is the best time for you during, you know what? You know, this during PKP. What are you doing at home? Other than eating, what else are you doing? You cannot go out, right? You cannot go out. So you say watch TV. Yes, you can watch TV, but how long can you watch TV? Right? How long can you stay in front of the TV? Yeah. You know what? According to studies, most people during this PKP, all right, other than eating, what else they are doing? They are logged in on the internet. The use of the social media is you know, is the traffic is very high. Yeah, unusual. Because why? All people are staying at home. Yeah, all people are staying at home. So the simple calculation is that, because when all people are staying at home and they are doing the same thing at home, which is you know, browsing through the internet. So what are they doing? What are they browsing? They are browsing online shopping. They are browsing, you know, Food Panda, everything. You know, so this is the best moment to do online business. Yeah, this is the best moment to do online business. Why? Because from 32 million of Malaysian, you know, we can say that almost 90% are at home. So what they are doing? What they are doing? Ya, they are browsing through their phone. Dia duduk menggaru telefon. Ya, menggaru screen. Saya boleh kata dia menggaru screen lah. Ya, sebab apa? Sebab dia tak nak kerja lain lah. Yang tu saja dia buat. Apa yang dia buat lagi? Dia duduk online order, online beli, online dan sebagainya. So this is the best time, you know, if you want to embark on something. Because why? During this PKP, some people, some businesses look at this PKP from a negative point of view. Oh, habislah, tak boleh buat apa. You know, we cannot move anywhere, you know, you cannot do business. But some people, they look at this PKP from opportunistic point of view. They say that, oh, this is the opportunity for us. Why? This is the opportunity for us. Why? Since people cannot go out, of course still they need to eat. Of course they still need to you know, to get all the products or services that they are going to need. So how they are going to get them? Nampak tak? So you can supply them. Nampak tak kat situ? So that is what we call opportunity. So when we talk about stickiness, yeah, that is the length of a website visit. Yeah, length of website visit. The longer the customer visit your page or your blog or your FB page, for example, that is better for you. That is stickiness. The concept of sticky, melekat, ya, melekat. Berapa lama mereka melekat di you punya page tu. And then eyeballs. What is eyeball? Eyeball, number of people who visit. Tadi adalah the length of time spent, kan? Yang ini adalah eyeballs is the number of people who visit a website. Yeah, how many people visited your website? The more, the better. The more, the better. Macam mana the more? Why the more, the better? Yeah, the more people visited your website, you know, it means that the more people who are exposed to your brands, the more people who are exposed to your product. So when they are exposed to your brand or exposed to your product, so you might stand a chance, you know, to capture them into, or you might stand a chance to convert them into customer. How do you convert them into customer? When they buy your product. Yeah, when they buy your product, it means that you can convert them into your customer. So how to convert them into your customer? Of course, you have to make sure that you have a very, very beautiful, very nice web page, very nice FB page. You know, all the wordings, all the pictures, everything, all the brandings are all catchy. You know, so because why people buy with emotion. Yeah, people buy with emotion. You know, what are pleasing in their eyes, you know, will be, you know, will be pleasing in their head and will be pleasing in their heart, and then it will be pleasing in their hand also when they start to do the actual purchasing. Alright, tambah pula hari ini nak membeli cukup senang. Alright, online sahaja tanpa perlu pergi ke mana-mana. Alright, so the number of people, or kalau dalam konteks dalam bahasa online business, they call it traffic. Yeah, the higher the traffic, it means what? It means that the number of people who visited your website, okay, the number of people who like your page, for example, the number of people who follow your page, for example, those people are your customer, you know. All right, so this is what we call eyeballs. And then mind share. What is mind share? Brand awareness. Brand awareness. Brand, meaning that they are aware of your brand. Yeah, they are aware of your brand. Yeah, so when they are aware of your brand, meaning that they start to know your brand. When they start to know your brand, they start to like your brand. When they start to like your brand, they start to trust your brand. When they trust your brand, you can convert them into your customer. When you convert them into your customer, try to retain them as your loyal customer. See or not? So that is the what we call the process. Yeah, the process. But again, we are talking on non-financial performance. So for any online business, if you can have this, if you are score higher on each criteria, stickiness, eyeball, mind share, it means that you are good. Yeah, you are in a good situation. All right, next. Okay, now we are going to discuss on balance scorecard. Yeah, balance scorecard. Balance scorecard. Yeah, balance scorecard is one of the tools. Yeah, one of the tools that company can use to measure their overall performance. Why it called balance? Why it is called balance, class? What does it mean by balance? Balance means what? Seimbang, right? Balance, it means that you are equal on every aspect. Yeah, you are equal on every aspect, or you are good on every aspect. This is what we call balance scorecard. A good company is a company that is balanced on all aspects of their operations. Okay, all right. So balance scorecard measures on four dimension of their operations. Number one, in terms of financial, yeah, in terms of finance, yeah, in terms of the finance. Number two, customer satisfaction. Number three, internal process, and number four, innovation. So it means that these are the four criteria of measurement in balance scorecard. Yeah, these are the four criteria of measurement in balance scorecard. Yeah, what are those? Financial measures, customer satisfaction, internal process, and also innovation. So these are the four scope, yeah, four scope of a businesses that, according to a balance scorecard approach, that is the most important that manager have to pay attention. It means that we have to be good on these four fronts. Yeah, we have to be financially sound. Yeah, we have to be financially good, and then we have to operate our business in such a way that customers are satisfied. And then at the same time, we are improving our internal process, our SOP, the way we do things. And then last but not least, yeah, innovation. Yeah, innovation. We need to have innovation. We need to keep on growing. We need to keep on, delivering better service or better product to our customer. Because why? Because our competitors are doing the same. Because our competitors also growing. So if we are not growing at the pace faster than our competitors, we might be left behind. So according to Balance Scorecard, these are the four criteria of evaluation, or four criteria of performance evaluation that a manager need to focus. Yeah. For example, from the financial point of view, all right, how do we appear to our shareholders, for example? This is a very important question. How do we appear to our shareholders in terms of financially? Are we making profit? Are we making enough profit or not to make our shareholder become wealthier? Yeah. If we can make our shareholder become wealthier, they will be happy. Yeah. So it means that we have to be really, really good. We have to increase our sales. We have to increase our marketing. We have to double our sales, for example. Okay, this is financial, in terms of financial aspect, ROE, ROI, and everything. Okay, and then from the perspective of customer, how do customer view us? If the customer are happy with us, if the customer sees our product as superior compared to our competitors, then we are in a good situation. Yeah. Okay. And then next, internal business perspective, or meaning our internal process. What must we excel at? Yeah. Our internal process. What must we excel at? We are talking about developing our own competitive advantage. Yeah. Things that we can do better compared to our competitors. Yeah, the internal competitive advantage. Yeah, remember or not when we discuss about internal analysis? Yeah, when we discuss about internal analysis, how our resources can give us our competitive advantage. So that's what we are talking about. Yeah, this is what we call our internal business perspective. Internally, we have to become stronger. Yeah, internally we have to become stronger. All aspect of our operation needs to be improved. Okay. So last but not least, innovation and learning. All right, innovation and learning. Can we continue to improve and create value? All right. So we have to continue. We have to grow. We have to continue learning. We have to continue doing innovation. Until when? Again, until when? Yeah, until when? As long as you are doing business. Yeah, you cannot run away from this. You cannot run away from striving to be better and better and better. All right. Because why? Because remember, our competitors are not stopping. Yeah, they are not sitting. They are not sitting idle. They are not sit tight and doing nothing. They are keep on working hard to improve themselves. So we ourselves also should be working hard to make sure that we are a step ahead in the competition, or at least we can make ourselves closer to them, for example. Okay. If they are in front of us, of course, we have to work hard to make sure that we are closer to them. Okay, so this is Balance Scorecard. And in Balance Scorecard, these four areas are the key performance measures. Yeah, what are the key performance measures in Balance Scorecard? Remember, yeah, financial, customer, internal process, and innovation. So these are the key performance indicator, or the key performance measure. Yeah, it measures measures that are essential for achieving a desired strategic option. So it means that when we can fulfill on these four fronts, yeah, we have a good chance to obtain a desired strategic options, or a desired strategic outcome. Okay, all right, good. Okay, the next tools that manager can use to do evaluation and control is using benchmarking, yeah, to evaluate our performance. Yeah, We are using benchmarking to evaluate our performance. When do we use benchmarking, class? When do we use benchmarking? Normally, we use benchmarking when we are a market follower. We are not a market leader. Yeah, we use benchmarking when we have other company who are better than us. Yeah, we use benchmarking when there are other company who are superior than us, who are doing better than us, who have more market share than us. So we are just the follower. So we do benchmarking. Yeah, that is when we do benchmarking. So what is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a continual process of measuring our products, services, practices against the toughest competitors or those companies recognized as industry leaders. What does it mean? It means that we are comparing ourselves. Yeah, we are comparing ourselves against whom? Against bigger company, against our market leaders, or against our toughest competitors. What do we compare? We compare in terms of our product. We compare our product with their product. We compare our service with their service. We compare our practices with their practices. So by comparing that, by comparing ourselves against a better company, yeah, or against the industry leader, that's how we can keep on improving and getting closer to them. This is what we call benchmarking. So if you want to improve, of course, you need to compare yourself with people who are better than you. You are not comparing yourself against people who are weaker than you. So if you are comparing yourself against people who are weaker than you, then you start to feel comfortable. You start to feel I am good already. So once you start to feel like that, is the start of the end. It's the beginning of the end for you. All right. Yeah. The philosophy of self-improvement is we must feel that we must keep on looking for perfection. Yeah, we must keep on looking. We must keep on learning from people who are better than us. Yeah, we never stop. The learning process is something that is not going to stop. Yeah, it's not going to stop. It's simply because why? Because environment change, because the world's change, the people's behavior change, technology change. Of course, every day there are new things to learn. Yeah, there are new things to learn. So if we stop learning, if we stop reading, if we stop improving ourselves, then we might be stranded. Yeah, we might be stranded at where we are right now. Yeah, maybe today we feel that our position is good, but 5 years from now, that position maybe can be taken away from other people who keep on improving themselves, who are very relentless. Yeah, who are very relentless in in self-improvement. Okay, so this is what benchmarking is all about. We compare ourselves against our toughest competitors or against our industry leaders. Why? Because we are not strong yet. We are still following them. So we must, the aim is we want to be good like them. So if we want to be good like them, we compare what we did with what they did. Yeah, in terms of our product, in terms of our services, in terms of our practices, and so on. Okay, class, these are some steps. Yes, these are some steps to do benchmarking. Yeah, these are the steps to do benchmarking. All right. Number one, we should identify area or process to be examined. Again, we want to compare what? We want to compare products, for example. We want to compare our services, for example. We want to compare our internal process, for example. So we identify what we want to compare, what we want to examine. And then we find behavioral and output measures. Okay, we find what are the behavioral and the output measures that we want to identify, that we want to compare. And then we select accessible set of competitors of best practices. Then we identify, let's say in terms of finance, which company is better? In terms of marketing, which company is better? Yeah, in terms of product, which company is better? All right. Class, it means that you are comparing against your competitor who is in the same industry. Yeah, you are comparing against your competitors or against the industry leader in the same industry. Yeah, you are not comparing yourself with other company in different industry. You are comparing yourself or your company with other company who are doing who are doing the same business as you are. Okay. All right. And then number 4, you start to calculate differences among companies' performance, among company performance measurements and competitors. Determine why the difference exists. So you can start to do some calculation. Yeah, start to do some calculation, or I can say comparison. Yeah, maybe you can start to do some comparison with your competitors. Why there are differences? Why that differences exist? Yeah, so you can start to do some comparison, and if you can do it in terms of numbers, that is better. Yeah, because numbers speaks best. Yeah, in doing comparison, if you can draw, let's say, some numbers, yeah, that is very good. For example, what is okay, let's say if you are doing online business, for example, okay, you visited your competitors punya web page. You see, oh, their followers almost 1 million. Your followers, why only 100k? Yeah, where are the others? Why the 900,000 gap exists between you and them? Their followers 1 million, your followers is only 100,000. Yeah, why the 900k gaps exist? You need to do some post-mortem on it, why it happens like that. So you are looking, you try to study what are the things that they do very good, learn from that. What are the good things that they do? You learn from the good things that they do. Yeah, you learn from the good things that they do, the good practices that they have been doing. We learn from that. Okay. All right, so that is number 4. Yeah. Okay, and number 5, develop tactical program for closing performance gap. So when you know that the gap exists in certain aspect of your operation, so you need to draw, or you need to develop a tactical program in order to close that performance gap between you and your competitors. So let's say I'll give you the example of a number of followers just now. Let's say your follower is only 100k. Your competitors, they have 1 million k. Sorry, 1 million k, 1 million followers. Now, what you have to do in order to increase your number of followers? Yeah. So you have to develop the tactical programs in order to close that gap. Yeah, maybe let's say in your web page, in your website, or for example, maybe in term of the copywriting wordings that you are using is not attractive enough. For example, the words that you are using is very boring for people to read. For example, like reading a news, for example, people do not want that. They want copywriting which is more emotional, for example, that can touch their heart, that can make them to stick with your page. You put very interesting sharing. You put very interesting for example, quotes, for example, very beautiful pictures, for example. People like that. People likes that. You put stories, for example, for them to read. So people those are the strategy to increase traffic into your web, for example. Or you do content sharing, for example. Yeah, content sharing is very important. Why should people visit your web? Because you have some beneficial sharing that you want to share with the viewers, for example. So all those things. So you need to identify the gaps. What went wrong, and why this gap exists, and you need to study what are the good practices that your competitors do. Learn from that. You copy from them, and you develop your own tactical programs to close that gaps. Yeah. And then number 6, you implement the programs, and again you compare the results. Yeah, you implement the programs and you compare the results. You always do that. So this is the steps in doing benchmarking. Okay. Then we have the next tools, strategic information system. Yeah, strategic information system. Strategic information system is more like what we call tools lah, yeah, tools to help managers. Okay, for example, number one, we have the ERP, yeah, the ERP, or the enterprise resource planning, yeah. Enterprise resource planning, it unites all of companies' major business activities from order processing to production, yeah, within a single family of software modules. So ERP is just like a software modules, yeah. It's an integrated software modules that unites all of the company major business activities, yeah, from what, from ordering, from purchasing, everything from customer punya order, customer punya payment, payroll, everything, every single thing. So you know what, this is what we call business administration. Yeah, this is what we call business administration. How to administer, how to manage your business internally. This software is very, very helpful. Because why, class? Business is not only about making sales. No, business is not only about marketing, about making large number of sales. It's not only that. Yes, of course, I admit, marketing sale is one of the most important component of a business. But business are not only that. Administration of the business is also important. How do you manage your money? How do you manage your finance? How do you manage your operation? How you manage everything? How you manage your staff, for example, is also important. How do you manage your customer orders, for example? Let's say if you are doing the online business, if you have a poor system to manage your customer order, you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. So this ERP is going to help organization a lot. Yeah. Even though if you are a small business, you're starting to grow. As you start to grow bigger, your operations start to be more complex. So when it start to be more complex, so of course you need assistance. Yeah, this software is a very, very good software. Okay, so ERP also provide instant access to critical information to everyone in the organization, from the CEO to the factory floor worker. So this is about ERP. Yeah, and then also we have the RFID, the radio frequency identification. Yeah, it is an electronic tagging technology used to improve supply chain efficiency. Yeah, the radio frequency identification. So we use them in to improve our supply chain efficiency. Maybe we can use them in order to do maybe in terms of our input and outputs. Yeah, input and output. So the number of input that we need to reorder in relation to the output that we already sell, so we can monitor that. So this is the RFID. And then we have the divisional and functional strategic information support. Divisional and functional strategic information support. So it is used to support, to reinforce, to enlarge business level strategy throughout the decision support system. So class, this is a little bit on strategic information system. Yeah. Okay. I think last but not least, all right, this is not last yet, second last. Yeah, problems in measuring performance. Okay, tadi earlier we have discussed a little bit the major problem in measuring performance. Of course, number one, we can say that we are lacking of quantifiable objective or performance standard. That is number one. Yeah, we are lack of quantifiable objective or performance standard. Sometimes not everything can be quantified. Yeah, not everything can be quantified. Okay, so that's why sometimes we need some subjective measurement. But again, some people, they believe that everything should be able to be quantified. Yeah, everything should be able to quantify. That's why when you do research, this is a quite cool topic skip lah. Just want to share with you. When you do research, we have the quantitative research, we have the qualitative research. Yeah, two people who prefer to do the quantitative research because they believe in what? They believe that everything can be quantified. That's why we use statistic and so on. And you use SPSS to quantify everything. But some school of thought says there are things that cannot be quantified. They are better explained in qualitative way. Same thing in performance measurement. Yeah, some people believe that everything should be quantified, but some people believe that not everything can be quantified. Yeah. So again, this is problem in measuring performance. Yeah. To some people, they prefer numbers. And numbers can explain everything. And numbers can explain everything. So lack of quantifiable objective or performance standard. So this is one of the problem in measuring performance. Number two, inability to use information system to provide timely and valid information. This is another problem, yeah, in terms of timely and valid information. Sometimes the information that we get is not timely. Timely meaning what? It's not latest. It's not latest. Sometimes the quality of information is not valid. For example, yeah, meaning to say, the second problem in measuring performance is the quality of data that we are getting. Sometimes the data is not timely. The data is not recent, and sometimes the data is not valid. That's why we have issue with the quality of information. And of course, number three, I can simply add here, of course, we are lacking sometimes an appropriate measurement. Yeah, sometimes the measurement itself is problem. When you use the wrong measurement, yeah, of course you will get the wrong result. If you are not using a good measurement, of course it will give you a wrong perception, a wrong result. Example, I give you a class. For example, you want to measure your weight, for example, during this PKP. Yeah, you want to measure your weight. Why you want to measure your weight? You are getting worried because why? This during PKP, what you do is just eating, and eating. Yeah, you order food panda, and food panda. So last food, you yang jadi panda. Kan, you dengan food panda dah tak boleh beza. Now siapa yang panda sekarang ni, you ke panda? Food panda yang panda. Alright. Example lah, just kidding. Alright. So let's say you want to measure your weight. Okay, of course the measurement that you are using is the scale tu, alat penimbang. What happened if the scale that you are using, is faulty? It's a faulty punya scale. Okay, katalah you timbang, katalah before PKP, your weight was 60 kilo, for example. Now you timbang, after you makan, timbang, jadi 55. Wow. Right. So unbelievable. Yeah, well, unbelievable. You might be thinking that, wow, before this I am 60 kilo. Now, after all the eating and everything, and put funda and everything, I managed to reduce weight. So I can reduce weight while I can enjoy, I can enjoy eating. So it gives you the wrong impression. See or not? That is the issue with what? The issue with the measurement. Yeah, the issue with the measurement tools. The measurement tools is not valid sometimes. All right, so that is a problem in measuring performance. Okay. And last but not least, okay, these are some guidelines, some guidelines for proper control. Yeah, all right. So after what we have discussed, so these are some guidelines for proper control. All right, number one, control should involve only the minimum amount of information needed to give a reliable pictures of event. So this is number one. Yeah, control should involve only the minimum amount of information. When I say the minimum amount of information, it means that only the relevant information. We should be able to phase out, to screen out the unrelated punya information. Sometimes when the information are too much, when information are too much, we might suffer information overload. So sometimes we do not know which information that is sufficient, which information that is relevant. That's why the quality of information is more important than the quantity of information. So we only take the relevant information. Yeah. Okay, so that we can get a reliable picture of events. All right. Number two, we should control. Control should monitor. Control should monitor only meaningful activities and results. Yeah. We should only monitor. We should only investigate meaningful activities and results. Yeah, regardless of measurement difficulty. Yeah, it means that we matter what matter the most. We measure what matter the most. Yeah, we measure what matter the most. All right. Okay, number 3, control should be timely. Ya, timely ini maksudnya recent. Ya, not to let's say how do I say, the gap, the time gap is not too too long. For example, that's why we have a yearly. Like myself, yeah, like myself. All right, we have a yearly performance evaluation. My superior, they will evaluate not only me but all the staff, yeah, all the staff's performance in that 1 year, in that calendar year. Okay, so control should be timely so that corrective action can be taken before it is too late. Yeah, so it should be timely. Yeah, so that when the damage is not that severe, so we still can repair it. So that's why it should be timely so that corrective action can be taken before it is too late. Okay, and then number 4, long-term and short-term goals should be used. All right, long-term and short-term goals should be used. All right, meaning that you must have the long-term approach and the short-term approach in doing performance evaluation. And not only short-term, you must also consider long-term. And then number 5, control should aim at pinpointing exception. What is pinpointing exception? Identifying problems. Yeah, control should be aimed at pinpointing problems. Yeah, identifying problem. Only then you can solve them. And number 6, emphasize the reward of meeting or exceeding standards rather than punishment for failing to meet standard. Yeah. So this is another guideline. Yeah, because of course our aim is we want to improve, we want to get better, and we cannot do that without the help of our workers. Yeah, we cannot do that from if we cannot get the help from our workers. So how to encourage our workers to be performing at their very level best? So it says here we should emphasize on the reward, yeah, reward for meeting or exceeding standard, rather than giving punishment for failing to meet standard. This is the question of positive and negative motivation. Yeah, positive and negative motivation. You should be emphasizing on positive motivation. What is a positive motivation, class? Positive motivation, you make your workers work hard. You make your workers give their best effort because you promise them something good. They want to achieve they are performing very good because they want to get that reward, not because of they afraid of your punishment. They have to work hard because they afraid of your punishment. That is what we call negative motivation. Even though their productivity increase, but they increase because of the wrong reason, because they fear of you. So what's wrong with that? what's wrong with that What's wrong with that is you cannot sustain it for a long time. That is the thing. But if you put emphasis more on positive motivation, you encourage them, to challenge themselves, to better themselves, to hit the height that they never reached before. So you will reward them with something valuable. That is what we call positive motivation. They will work hard because they want to chase something. Yeah, they work hard because they want to chase something, not because they work hard because they are being chased by you. You see or not? You see or not? Not they work hard not because of they are being chased by you, but they want to chase something. All right, so that is what we call the difference between positive and negative motivation. All right, because if you use positive motivation, you can sustain it for a long time. It means that their level of motivation can be preserved in a longer time, rather than you use the negative motivation. They feels like they are just running away, they are just keep on running away from you. They are surviving from your punishment. That is not good. Yeah, it means that they do not have what we call satisfaction in working. Yeah, they don't find happiness in working. So when people are not happy, it will severely affect their quality of work. Yeah, so we want them to be happy. We want them to be satisfied. We want them to be enjoying their work. We want them to love our organization. Yeah, so that we can get the best out of them. All right. Okay, class. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for this chapter. All right. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your attention. And okay, hopefully you can get something. You can learn something from this lecture. All right. So I think I will stop here. Thank you.